Hey guys, this is Guts here, bringing you day 3 main event tournament recap. As you could probably see on my screen, it's pretty late, 4 a.m., so I'm pretty tired. Watched every single game today. It was a very long day. But I still wanted to get the recap done now before the morning. So the first game of the day was... I don't even remember. I think it was Windstrike versus VGG Storm. I hope so. And I can't remember if that was day 2 or day 1. It's so late. And they got clobbered. Like, VGJ Storm just... Windstrike, the issue with Windstrike is they kept dying. They kept dying and dying and dying. And they didn't have to. They just had to avoid some fights. They had a really good draft to take them late game, and they didn't do that. And game 2, they kind of followed a similar suit. And I get it. They're an aggressive team and everything, but like I said, they had the better late game drafts, so they didn't need to do that. It's very sloppy compared to the newbie game. So they get easy 2-0'd. On VGJ Storm's terms, Yawar did really well. So, nothing really stood out in that series, though, I don't think. Moving on to the next one, I'm pretty sure it was Secret versus Vichy. Secret, oh man, that was a really good series because game 1 was Vichy won the game. It was just very clinical. Yeah, it's really hard to remember when I'm this tired. I think there was Terrorblade. You know what? This is going to look a little unprepared, but I'm just going to quickly check out the games that happened. Results. Let's just go back. That'll help. So, Wednesday. Optic Serenity, Virtus Pro Mineski. It was VGJ Storm versus Windstrike, yes. And then we had Secret versus Vichy. I just want to see the series of what the drafts were. Okay, so game 1, this is the one I was talking about. Yeah, so Terrorblade, and if you go to show result, obviously Vichy won that one. That was a really good game. It was super clinical from Vichy. Everything was perfect. The silences were perfect. Terrorblade played excellent. Ori did decent, but it was still a really close game. It wasn't like everything was smooth. 11 had a really bad game, but this is such a bad Batrider patch. I'm surprised people are picking it. Poppy and Yapzor were pretty much non-factors. Fado did good early game, but then he fell off. It's pretty much Ace and mid one, mostly mid one, because Ace near late game was like Fada, very unimpactful. Mid one was huge. I felt really bad when they lost this game because I'm like, oh no, is Secret going to lose a tournament when mid one's playing so well? But game 2, obviously that wasn't the case. Secret wins. This game was an absolute stomp. It was like a pre-20 minute racks or something. Does it show the time anywhere? I'm looking on my screen. I don't see it. One of you might see it if it's there, but I think it was like a pre-20 minute racks. And oh man, the thing about this game that really stood out was that the draft was pretty much the same from Secret, and it was, well, sorry, no, it wasn't the same from Secret, but it was the same from Vichy, which is not too characteristic of Chinese teams, but they did so well the first game, they thought they could get away with it the second game. And I mean, Secret had similar picks, right? They had the Venge and the Chen, but this was like a 4th pick Chen. And I'm like, oh no, Puppy, you need a more impactful hero. And I'm like, Puppy should be on the Venge, and you need to give Yapzor a playmaking hero. But what they did was, they did this again, but it was so clinical. And the Zeus beats Lena mid. That was an after pick. The Wraith King, I don't know. I really like the Clinks pick. Clinks is just so good. I don't think there'll ever be a scenario. But what really amazed me was the order people played. I thought it was going to be Ace and Fada, and he swapped those up. And Puppy actually is the main reason they won this. He had so much impact early game. It just completely caught these guys off guard. You have a Wraith King push into tier 2 super early, and then the Rax, they just couldn't do anything. Because Lanham didn't have his Blink. You know, they didn't have BKBs or anything. They just weren't prepared. And 11 had a really bad game again. So this is when they realized the bat doesn't work anymore. Game 1, though, at the end game, bat did have some really nice lassos. But, I mean, you might as well pick a different hero. You're not picking a bat so that he's useful 50 minutes in the game, right? Game 3, this is when things went crazy. This is when Puppey revealed. I saw the draft of just like, no way. Actually, no, sorry. Game 2 was my no way secret wins draft, but they did. Game 3, though, was the swapping of the heroes. When I saw the Yapzor Enigma, I called it out prior, and my friends thought that was pretty cool. I did a lot of that this tournament, though. That's just expected. But what I told them basically was that I said Puppey knows that with their Oracle already picked and not a Huskar, he knows it's a cheese pick. And Enigma is the anti-cheese hero. He stops Brood, he stops Huskar, and he stops Morphling. This guy is anti-cheese, and this blew my mind, because this is when I knew Puppey is still a tier 1 drafter, because I was having doubts with Game 2, even though they slaughtered. But Game 3, I said, this is a secret draft. What also surprised me was what he did. Puppey on the position 5 Phoenix, he did a Fada Earthshaker, a Yapzor Enigma, Jungle Enigma. So, you don't see this very often. This is super old school. And then Ace on Corvenge. Corvenge, he swapped this up because he wants a very farm Venge with early levels because it destroys Huskar. Enigma destroys Huskar, destroys Clinks. And Fada is a laning phase, like, dominator. Puppey in the background of all this, like with Invoker doing all this stuff. Mid 1 played a very nice Invoker. This was actually a really awesome series. I really enjoyed this one. Secret definitely deserved it. What was that link again? This one's going to be slow. Just bear with me. I really want to do the recap now. So then you had results. Then you had the OpenAI versus Pain. Pain actually won that. I didn't think they would, but it seems the OpenAI struggles late game. So, and they still double ward and stuff, so that needs to be fixed. Once that is, we'll probably see better results. I think they're doing more OpenAI matches at TI. Either way, then it was Liquid LGD. This was quite something. This blew expectations out. Look at Liquid's draft. Everybody's on a comfort hero. Maybe not Kuro, but I mean Kuro's good on Lich. Everybody. The reason why LGD won this though was Somnus. The Somnus Leshrac really screwed them. Chalice had some nice tosses, and Fi and Ame were everywhere at the right exact moment. If I told you to watch only one game this whole day, even though I think the game that will be coming up is better, this one shows what preparation does. You could tell by LGD, you already know they put tons of hours into fighting Liquid. Not necessarily speaking in terms of like main event, but in general, you know they have done so much research on Liquid. They knew that Liquid was probably going to start their first game with their safe comfort picks, and they blew them out of the water. I've never seen Liquid get spanked like this before. And that's what happened. Liquid got spanked. Absolutely spanked. Maybe wasn't even doing amazing. It was just like they'd win these mini skirmishes, and then you had like Fi and Ame relocating to a lane to push it. They did it in the last fight bottom, relocate instantly to bottom after they killed Team Liquid. That was like GG from that moment on. And then game 2. Game 2 was actually not too bad for Liquid, except for Miracle got shut down mid. Maybe went out of control. And Liquid had the better late game, but they were not given the chance to go late game. Fi got an early blink. Ame wasn't even in this game. I'm not even kidding when I say this. If you never watched, he wasn't even in it. This was a 4v5 and LGD stomped. This is, and I mentioned this in my past day 2 or day 1 video where I said I think LGD is going to win it all. This happens every even Chinese year. They have a team that's just off the radar. There's a bit of hints that they could be, powerful and stuff. And then when they show up to TI, they frickin' bring results and they blow people out of the water. This is like IG last year. But the thing is that Liquid now needs to dump in research. There's no more pubs. I saw Liquid doing a lot of pubs. You won't see much pubs from Liquid. You're going to see a ton of research. Kuro didn't have much CC this game. But and Liquid wasn't just when I say that they were getting spanked, they weren't bad. They weren't even playing bad. Mind Control had some really good TPs to stop these ganks and stuff, but they were just getting so outplayed. It was like LGD was on a whole nother level, because that's normally what Liquid does. But this one fight they did bottom, where they were going for Matumba, and Mind Control just pops out of nowhere and starts man moding. Maybe it's just 100% certainty. Okay, you're gonna go for this. I'm gonna kill you, and it just never happened, because maybe got so much life from the kills that all the damage Mind Control did nothing. And like I said, Ame wasn't even in this game. He didn't come in this game till they pushed and ended. And I think he went SMY BKB. He just wanted to close it out. That's exactly what they did. Just a lot of people were probably mad about this match, but just as well it happened, Liquid needed this wake-up call. You do not want to fight these guys in grand finals like this. You do not want to fight them in lower bracket. This is the best scenario for Liquid. They've got their wake-up call. They need to react on it, because this was an absolute spanking. 2-0 LGD. No one expected that. I kind of did, but I never expected it to be that freaking convincing. Watch this game if you want to watch clinical Chinese Dota. You will not find more clinical. And then we end the day with this one. OG EG. This was an absolute treat. I thought the Liquid LGD game couldn't be surpassed today, especially with the secret one. It trumped over it, but this series trumped it. It's the ultimate grudge match. Sorry, I don't have a water. I can't clear my throat. It was the ultimate grudge match because of the betrayal story. People were like, oh, well, Notails betrayed, Fly was secret. No. This, or with Fnatic or whatever, I don't know. But this was a true betrayal. Fly and S4 left very early. Not very early. They left very last minute on Notails, and Notails had to quickly assemble a team. And, Crit in the end game interview, I'm not going to say win or loss, even though it kind of revealed it already. But Crit mentioned, he was like, I don't know why there's bad blood. 2 good teams were made out of this, but you just explained the bad blood. If you think 2 good teams were made of this is the bad blood. What happened? He's acknowledging that S4 and Fly leaving is bad blood. That's bad blood. So you can expect there to be bad blood. I agree with him. 2 top tier teams were made as a result. But don't think that there shouldn't be bad blood. There definitely should be bad blood. Game 1 though, OG stomped. It was really, really awesome Dota. Effing mad with the black hole threat. Mostly Thompson. Thompson best invoker performance. He made mid ones look like a joke. Thompson did really freaking well. Anna did well. Jerax did well. Mad did okay. Notails did okay. No one even stood out on EG. They got handled in game 1. Game 2 though, this is when things get interesting. EG wins this one. OG pretty much had this one in the bag. They're knocking on for the second set of racks, and they basically threw. Notails had a bad ult. They could have backed off on it, but they didn't, and I don't blame them. They're so far ahead. They just were spanking EG the whole game. But then it led to just a charge catching them off guard, and then a bad snowball, and mind you, the fight was already over once the snowball was done. But that was the tipping point. And then EG is a team that doesn't make mistakes. They don't throw. So this hurts because when EG won this game, I thought it was all done for OG. I thought the moral was done and everything. And you could tell because OG built for ending that game. Thompson went pipe. They had necro books. Anna really, I didn't even feel his presence at all in this game. This game was Thompson. Notail did really well. He had like 32 stolen int at 10 minutes or something. He was involved in pretty like 90% of the kills. Effing Mad did pretty good until late game. JRX had some really nice saves. Yeah, and I didn't really feel. But then once they threw, freaking S4 did a ton this game. S4 was quite impactful. And then you have the final game, and OG wins. And it was basically the reverse scenario. EG had this game. Sumail was, what was he, 17 and 1 at like 15 minutes. It was absolutely ridiculous. He crushed mid. Thompson got just handled. But what won this game was the draft. This draft won because Notail drafted late game. You have Spectre. No one beats Spectre late game. Maybe Terrorblade. No one beats Spectre late game. You have 7 Mad, Seb. He had Scepter. That's 40% damage reduction. Like, that's insane. And when you get Refresher Shard and stuff, like, that's 2 of them. It used to be 60. But, man, you saw that 40% damage reduction. Everybody but Sumail did pretty much zero damage in fights when that happened. And Thompson, even though he got shut down and murdered the whole game, he provides vision. You know, he caught out, I think, a smoke gank and a bunch of Sumail invis ganks. That's huge, especially when you have no map control. I just want to give perspective for anyone who didn't watch. OG were down 2 racks. They kind of threw because they tried going for a smoke and they went up to a high ground and just freaking lost. And lost their 2 racks as a result. I thought it was definitely done. And Moral done, and Thompson, you know, lost and was basically feeding. But it was all that Spectre. And EG just didn't take it the late game. There was one slight factor that was screwing EG over. Some people say S4's build was garbage. I don't think that was the reason why. Sumail was doing a shit ton of carrying, and they had 2 racks, but they weren't really, like, they weren't getting Roshans, and they weren't, like, they got a few, but they weren't, like, securing that game. And against Spectre, you have to end. It doesn't matter how far ahead you are, you have to end. And the main reason why EG lost this, obviously a lot of people do acknowledge it. Arteezy was sacrificed. That was the only lane going good for OG. And as a result, Arteezy just never got online. And they thought, okay, you know, you could do your 4v5 Dota like, you know, like LGD did today, but you can't. Like, Arteezy is your carry. It's a different scenario in the LGD scenario because their carry was online. So he was just AFK farming all game while being online from his lane. Arteezy was never online. He got shut down hard. He had like half the last hits of Ana. And Ana's not supposed to do good in a lane against Enchantress Phoenix. And he did. And Fly died like 5 times early games, so... It was like Sumail 1v5ing, it felt like. And Crit had some nice swaps and everything. But that late game, oh man. It got to a point where just they couldn't leave their base because Haunt was just going to cripple them with Wisp relocate ganks. Notail gave like a death stare at the end, which was pretty cool. Sumail was not pleased with Arteezy, but I mean, come on. Arteezy got freaking sacrificed. That was a really... That just can't happen with your carry. You could do that with S4, not your carry. So, I couldn't believe freaking, I can't believe OG won that. I thought with the moral being gone from game 2, throwing, basically OG throwing, along with, you know, they were behind, they lost 2 racks, Thompson basically fed mid, and they still win. Like, Notail worked his ass off. And with the Death Stare on Fly and the handshake afterwards, like, you could expect that. Oh man, Dota it destroys friendships. It really does. Even with these are pros. They know the nature of it. You know, people are going to do this kind of thing. Leaving teams and stuff like that, so. Trying to think what else. I'm trying to think of, like, the intermittent shows. I'm so tired, I can't really remember. I'll probably just add more stuff to the comments. If I think of any, I can't think of anything else. Did they announce anything? Not really today. You know, I mentioned the open AI thing. Frank, I know there's something I'm forgetting, and I really want to say it before I end the video, but you know what? I'll just put it in the description, so look in there in case if there is anything to add on top of it. Otherwise, I'll see you for day 4 tomorrow. I'm looking really forward to that. I should do predictions. You know, I was going to do predictions for this one, and I did it in the morning, so I could have. But whatever, it doesn't matter. And the meta's starting to get broke, you know? We're not seeing all these Wraith Kings and stuff. We're starting to get back to regular, normal Dota, which is... That's how you beat metas. You innovate. You pick heroes that aren't normal, and boom, bam. You get really good games out of it. Today was probably... Yesterday was good. The day before that was really good. I think today, though, was the best day so far. It was really good. So, thanks for watching. I will see you tomorrow.